Insurance agents from around the world, welcome to the Insurance Guys podcast. My name is Scott Howell, your fearless host and leader, insurance agency owner and insurance evangelist for I Protect Insurance and Financial Services, based out of Huntsville, Alabama. And before we get started on the podcast today, please help me welcome. He is a 6'3" sophomore from Mobile, Alabama, parade first team All-American, Rivals 5-star recruit. He is a fantastic insurance agent and a great American. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the incomparable Mr. Bradley Flowers. How are you, Bradley?
Did you crash your car in the parking lot?
I did not.
That's good. That's a good way to start the day.
But Gio, who I've already given $1,000 to yesterday, is nowhere to be found.
Okay.
He is currently in Fairhope after he wrote down my American Express card number and is buying, who knows what. He's at Target right now, probably. Bradley?
How did you sleep last night in your construction zone?
Do you know that hotel is completely packed?
Really?
All these contractors down here, Amtrak or Am whatever, and this morning they started their plumbing.
Yeah, no water. Yeah,
9 to 2, no water. I'm basically staying in a tent here in Mobile, ladies and gentlemen. Bradley, I got something on my heart I need to get off my heart today.
Okay.
I've started a new foundation. It's called the Fired College Football Adoption Foundation.
Okay.
I just want everybody at the sound of my voice to know that I am not proud. I will change my name if any of these newly fired college football coaches want to adopt me. I am willing to change my name. So let's roll through a few of them this morning.
Scott Franklin has a nice ring.
Thank you, Bradley. I've been thinking about this for weeks. Scott Franklin, listen to this. You want to hear?
Scott Franklin sounds like a private equity fund manager, managing director.
I got one better for you.
Okay.
You want to go Scott International? How about Scott Napier?
I don't like that as much.
Really? You like Scott Franklin a little better?
Franklin, yeah. Scott Franklin manages your investments for you and takes you to the country club on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm. Keep talking. That's where we're going with this.
Got a trust fund set up for his 3 kids.
Of course he does.
2 of them are really good. One of them's the black sheep. You could be the black sheep.
What about Scott Pittman?
Sam Pittman would be a cool dad.
Is there any part of your body that doesn't believe that Sam Pittman, somewhere in central or southern Arkansas, in some little town that nobody's ever, people in Arkansas don't even know the name of this town. It's probably called like Wingate, Arkansas, has a 2,000-acre ranch, and there's so many deer, they're thick as the damn hair on the dog's back on that ranch. He's probably got 4 10-acre ponds. Sam, I am available. I'll change my last name to Pittman. I'll call you Pawpaw. I'll come out there to all the birthdays. Mm-hmm. So let's roll through it real quick. Sam Pittman, super nice guy, wanted to retire, about to turn 65, walks into the athletic director's office and says, hey, per my contract, you owe me $9.8 million. But Sam Pittman's a really nice guy, and he says, in the top right-hand desk drawer, right there, you have one of those big, hard checkbooks that looks important. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. If you'll just write me a check right now, because I already got my shit packed up in my office for $9.3 million, I'll go get my boxes, and I'll go home to my ranch where I got deer thick as a damn hair on dog's back, and 4 10-acre ponds stocked with like smallmouth bass, probably state records. And the athletic director pulls out the damn checkbook and writes him a check for $9.3 million, hands it to him. Florida, Billy Napier, buyout, $20 million. Ladies and gentlemen, on November the 19th of the year of our Lord, 2025, the University of Florida, that's 30 days, exactly 30 days, in Billy Napier's Wells Fargo checking account, there will be a deposit made for $10 million not to do anything.
It's great to be bad at your job.
I'm telling you, I think Scott Napier has a really good ring to it.
Maybe.
Here's the one that nobody knows about, nobody's talking about because people in the media are so damn stupid. James Franklin, $48 million. That's all people are talking about. I want to give a golf clap. Bradley, golf clap.
Yeah.
Let's make sure everybody can hear it. To the Penn State staff attorneys that drew up his contract, they were chef's kiss brilliant. So, as of last weekend, James Franklin was owed his $500,000 annual salary because, you know, they all do the same thing that us insurance agents do. We only make, for your accountant, only make $50,000 a year. Meanwhile, they make $250,000 a year. That's real talk. So he's owed his $500,000 salary. He's owed additional compensation each year until 2031 of $6.5 million. You are the best. Plus, this Penn State University, the University of Penn State, however you say it, until 2031, gets to continue paying his $1 million life insurance policy with his wife named as the beneficiary. Here's where the Penn State staff attorneys were so brilliant. He had to immediately start looking for another job, which is why, Rand, he was on College Game Day last weekend.
Shopping.
He was shopping and interviewing.
Let me propose something to you. This is not a sport.
Wait,
sorry.
One second.
Right.
One second.
Okay.
And when he gets a job, any amount of money he makes offsets what Penn State owes him. They may only end up paying James Franklin $5 to $10 million.
All right. This is where I was going. This is not a sports show, but real quick.
Nobody else is talking about this, by the way. Nobody.
Let's pretend that Florida hires James Franklin.
Okay.
Could they say...
Very easily could happen, by the way.
Could they say, hey, James Franklin, let's pretend the buyout payout is over 3 years, whatever you call that.
Sure.
We're going to pay you $0 for 3 years. And we're going to take the money we would pay you and put that in NIL.
Penn State's attorneys were too smart for that because prior to this, their attorney had dealt with a guy by the name of Bradley, middle name Loophole Flowers.
Okay.
So they took that out.
Okay.
You can't, because they've dealt with Bradley Flowers before. They know Bradley Flowers. And so Bradley Flowers would say, hey, Florida, pay me $1, and Penn State will just pay the rest. They're too smart for that. They're not going to do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I do like where your head's at. That was the very first thing I thought of when I was going to talk about this was Bradley is going to sit here the whole time and think of loopholes. Because his middle initials are Bradley LH Flowers, and he's going to try to figure out how to get out of that. No, they're too smart for that. They know that that's the first thing somebody would do, to be like, well, hey, guys, y'all hire me for $25 a year. I'm already making $6.8 million. Mm-hmm. Guys, I just want everybody out there, of the 11 rich, fired college football coaches that are out there, my foundation is set up. I am ready to be an adopted son or grandson, wink, wink, Sam Pittman, and I will come to all the birthdays. I will formally change my name. I'm good at. I've got a lot of life experience. We can talk about a lot of cool stuff. So, and by the way, James Franklin, you're 53. We could be brothers, right? Anyway, guys, we got an all-star guest, 2 all-star guests on for you today. I want to give them the introduction that they always deserved. And by the way, this is a very special podcast today because Bradley Flowers has just visited these people.
I did.
For 4 weeks, 5 weeks. How long were you down there?
I was there one day.
One day. We're going to get into what Bradley learned, what he took back, and we're going to try to help you agents any way we can. So, the 2 individuals that we have on this podcast today, I'm gonna lead with the end in mind here. They are from Brightway Insurance. There's a guy down there that some of you in this industry might know. His name is Billy Wagner. In my opinion, my humble opinion, the greatest personal lines principal agent to ever walk on the planet. If I was a personal lines person and I wanted to be an agency owner and I wanted to learn from the best, I would go see Billy Wagner, which is exactly what my podcast co-host has just done really within the last week or two.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So let's get started. She is originally born, raised, and lives in Jacksonville, Florida. She is married to the ruggedly handsome Daniel. She's oh my gosh, she loves to cook. Has her own foodie Instagram. Don't think I'm not going to go watch that. I'm a food porn guy, guys. Some people are into lots of things. I'm into food porn. I will watch this religiously.
I'm glad you said lots
How
of
it
things.
all
'Cause I
started.
didn't know where that was going to go.
She was born and raised in Jacksonville, came from the restaurant industry. She's been with Brightway Insurance since 2018. She is the president of operations. That's air quotes. She actually runs the show over there and does all the stuff. Miss Shelby Tirado. How are you, Shelby?
I am great. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here today. I love having people that are in the foxhole, that are doing it every day, who are actually running the agencies. We typically have these stupid ass agency owners that come on this show that don't know anything about what's really going on in the agency because they don't do anything all day but sit around, fart around, talk on the phone.
Yep.
What we ought to have are the people who are actually in the trenches every day taking bullets and doing it, not the people that are like, oh, I've got to go meet somebody for golf at 1 o'clock. Anyway, I digress. Our second guest today, he is originally from St. Pete, Florida, and he currently resides in Jacksonville, Florida. He is married to the beautiful Stacy, and he is a graduate of the University of North Florida. He started in March 2008, and he too was in the restaurant business. A lot of restaurant business type stuff going on here. Hint, hint, guys, if any of you want to know where you might find some good employees or people to work with. And he started out as a CSR producer with Brightway Insurance, stayed focused on the process, and I can't read that. It cut off right there. Oh, the process of building referrals. And today, in 2017, he became an equity partner in the business. And today, he is a principal of Brightway Insurance in Jacksonville, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my profound honor to introduce to you Mr. Chris Huebener. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having us on here.
No, man, we're proud to have y'all. I apologize for you having to listen to my new idea of becoming an adopted, rich, fired football coach's either nephew, grandson, or son, or brother. But I think that's my pathway to success, is to possibly one day become, get in with one of these guys that's about to make, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 million. Can you imagine the Thanksgiving and Christmas some of these people are about to have? I think my mic just cut out.
That was the headphones. You're good.
Sorry. Can you imagine the Christmas and Thanksgiving some of these folks are about to have? Chris, Shelby, tell me, how was it having Bradley down at the Brightway offices? Was he cordial and friendly, or was he in like a mood and y'all were like, I don't know about this guy? Tell me what it was like
Definitely
having.
friendly.
Well,
Was he?
we did go to dinner, and he did warn us that he was a bit of a bourbon snob, and it
He
definitely, came to fruition because everything he ordered was out of stock and brought the wrong one and all of that stuff. So I was like, this guy's a little high maintenance, and that was the first interaction that we had But then the next day when we actually started talking business, it got a little bit better. His wife
Everything
very
you
much the
just-
buffer for all of that. So that was good.
Chris, everything you just said was 1,000% true.
The waiter had to come back 3 times. But then is that not a restaurant problem? Restaurant guys, like the drink I ordered wasn't there. Okay, give me this, That's just how it goes. Don't put it on your menu if you ain't got it, right?
The 3
Very
drinks
true.
you ordered were not
Now,
there.
the bourbon snob version of me is, hey, I want this, but if you don't have this, I want this, but only if it's this version. And if you don't have that version, I want this, but only if it's less than $25. I didn't do that. I have done that before.
Shelby, Chris, I'm going to ask Shelby this first, and you're going to be in the on deck circle, and that's going to give you some time to think about this. Shelby.
Yep.
I want to know what skills, what lessons learned in the restaurant space did you bring with you to the insurance industry? I think I know a couple of them, but I want to hear it from you. What lessons and things did you learn in the restaurant space did you bring over to Brightway that has really helped you achieve success over there?
Yeah, I mean, besides the obvious customer service, stuff, I would say multitasking. So here at our office, we're very fast paced, a lot of things coming and going, and you got to, answer this phone, go back to what you were doing. And so being able to multitask and not forget what you were just doing and, having 10 tabs open in your mind, is definitely helpful for sure. So same thing in the restaurant industry. You got 10 tables, you're running around, they need a refill. Where's their order? So being able to kind of transition that here. So in the interview process, I love, when people say they're in the restaurant industry and I'm like, oh, where? And, you kind of can see, okay, what's that pace? How's that going to translate here? So that would be the biggest one for me for sure.
Shelby, I got one question, then I'm gonna ask Chris the same question.
Okay.
Do you believe in the old saying, the customer is always right?
To an extent. Yes, I would say so.
Because after 16, 17 years now in the insurance industry, if you'd asked Scott that when he was 35, I probably was, yes, the customer's always right. Now I'm like,
I'm not so sure about
nah,
that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm going to ask the same thing of you. What lessons learned in the restaurant space or did you bring to the table at Brightway?
Yeah, the biggest one I would say is energy. So, in my younger days, because I've now been 18, 19 years doing this, I could run circles around myself and be able to jump on a call and be very, very happy on the phone and do this and, run to a realtor event and do all these things. And that was very much apparent, coming from a restaurant world, because you're on your feet literally 6, 7, 8 hours, carrying 50-pound trays over your head and all of that. So energy and just being positive. And then also too, dealing with the angry client, right? Your steak's overcooked or you're out of bourbon. And that waiter that we dealt with, he
and
handled
it all comes
very
back
well.
to Bradley. You realize that's the second time I've heard that story about you
From different people.
No, you and I were in Round Rock, Texas at a steakhouse.
Yeah.
And that same thing happened where you said, hey, can I get the blah, blah, blah? And she's like, sure. Comes back to the table.
It was a Weller Antique. I remember exactly which one it was.
Yeah.
And they didn't have it.
So
To Shelby's point, one thing we have found that people who struggle here, one thing they have in common is not being able to jump from thing to thing. It's something you have to do to be successful in insurance, especially on the service side, but the sales side as well. And that's an interesting perspective that typically people who are successful in the restaurant industry do that.
Mm-hmm.
wait, do what?
Are able to jump from thing to thing.
Yeah, because there's a saying in the restaurant industry that I say very frequently, being in the weeds. I say this to my people all the time. I'm like, hey, you need to let me know if I give Rand something to do, but Rand's got 5 other things he's working on, tell me if you're in the weeds.
Mhm.
That is a restaurant saying
For
where
sure.
you have too many tables
Mhm.
and you're the or you're the server that decides you want to take this 15-person guest table
Mhm.
and not get, because you're going to make a big tip, but
Mhm.
you've also got 6 other tables, and now those 6 other tables aren't getting enough service because you decided that I want this big table with all these people at it, and then the customer service on those other tables goes down. I'm sure you guys know exactly what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
talking about.
absolutely.
And
Chris,
it
Chris.
actually transpires exactly into kind of what we're doing is I look
Yeah.
at it as, you get a lead of a, massive policy that comes across your desk
Sure.
and you so focus in on that, but then you've got 10, normal size policies, if you will, right? Or 10 reshops or something, and you're neglecting that. Well, you're suffering on the 10 clients that are, probably easier sells than you're trying to win the shark or, the whale type thing. So yeah, it's those exact situations happen in our daily, situations every day. And yeah, so we go through it all the
Well-
time. And I would say in our office here, I think the majority of people actually did come from restaurants. And that is definitely where we really pick out our employees from, just because it was worked out well. I mean, Billy started in a restaurant as well. And that's where, we just kind of see a lot of skill sets come from that industry. So yeah, if anyone's listening on that, pay attention to your servers and your bartenders and your bussers, anybody who looks like they are, really kind of focusing on, multitasking or just really good personalities there. You can teach insurance. Like, I am definitely not the smartest person in this room. I can promise you that. But you can learn those concepts. It's the process and the personality and all of that. And you can really get some winners from the restaurant world.
Well, it also teaches you how to prioritize what needs to be done now and what can be done in an hour. Because,
Yep.
if I'm working at a restaurant and I've got one table that somebody's steak is wrong, or God forbid they don't have the right bourbon. Just kidding. Somebody's steak is wrong, and then Scott asks for ranch. Like,
Yes.
getting the steak out, getting that, at least that process started, is much more important than Scott getting his ranch.
Yep. 100%.
Hey, do you know that I send you guys an account or two a month? I don't even call Billy anymore. I just give people your number. I can't remember exactly when. I've talked to Shelby on the phone before. She doesn't remember that because I'm not very, it's been a long time ago, I think. How long have you been there, Shelby?
Almost 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 100% it was you I talked to. But now I just give people y'all's number. Hey, Chris, are you in front of your management system right now?
I am.
Type in Nathan Green. See if Nathan's a client of yours. I sent him to you, but I don't know if he got his insurance through you guys or not.
Go ahead and tell us his social too.
Yeah,
while you're at
call out his social and make sure we got the same one.
I do not see that name here.
Okay, he must not have. He just bought a new house in Destin. Not Destin. 30A area over there. But I'll try to get him over there with y'all. But I typically, anybody in Florida, I usually send you guys, which is probably one account a month, one every 2 months. Billy said if I send one more account to you guys, I get a free set of steak knives with Brightway's initials on the handles of the steak knives. So I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to getting those. What else did y'all learn? What did you learn? Because, our mission on this podcast is to help agents any way we can. So, Bradley, I'm going to let you pull your pants down for just a second. What did you learn at Brightway that was kind of this aha moment for Bradley Flowers when he was like, that's how we need to be doing that?
Yeah. So I've got 43 pages of notes.
Just open up the phone book and call somebody.
I'm not joking. I have 43 pages of notes. Probably.
We'll go get them. Let's just go over them all.
Probably, there's several things. I really, really like the detail of the new employee onboarding. You guys trained for 12 weeks, right?
Yes.
Is that
Correct.
correct? That was one thing, because like we kind of, we have new employee onboarding, but instead of 12 weeks, it's 12 hours.
I was about. Did you say 12 weeks? That's 3 months.
Oh yeah.
So they're just sitting there all day with drool coming out of their mouth, watching damn videos of Billy, or
Oh,
what?
no. We're keeping them busy.
And here's the biggest thing, and I'm going to actually let them talk about it. So talk about the pathway for success from, because like Billy's agents, like they only hire brand new people to the industry. They typically I mean, maybe like once or twice you guys have hired people with experience.
Same as Laurel.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So talk about that pathway, like the different roles and things that people are in to get them to be a producer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go into that.
So,
that was the biggest, that was the biggest, like, okay, this is a change we can make. Now it may take a little while for us to implement this, but that was like the big thing.
Yeah.
Chris, before you get into that, is that a Monster Energy drink suit behind you?
No, that's Brightway's logo.
That's actually Brightway's logo.
Oh, it looks like the Monster Energy drink logo from here.
My wife made that for me. So when we have our award ceremonies at the beginning of the year, I usually wear that suit and kind of walk across stage.
He also wears it to weddings and funerals.
That's cool. Anyway, I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. So the pathway for hiring and all of that is we want to make sure everyone knows that this is a career, right? So it takes a lot of money from the agency to pour into an employee. And so I don't want someone just to start here and quit in a year, quit in 2 years. It's not good for anybody. So we really start off with the very first position, which is the client concierge, which for an equivalency, it's the first person. It's the phone answerer. It's the person who does the data entry. It's really that first 12 weeks. So that's where Shelby is really training them to use all the systems, the AMSs, the easy links, the quote rushes, all of these things. And then in the midst of that, they're learning what is an HO3. Because like Bradley mentioned, we really hire people who have no clue what insurance is. I had no idea. Shelby had no idea. And like I said, you can teach insurance to anybody. So we're really going through that process, and Shelby has really put it down to the minute of what they are being trained every single week, every single day, and then we test them every single Friday. She goes through kind of what they were supposed to learn, what do they feel good at, what do they not feel good about, and then the next week she modifies and goes through that. So as they get through that position, that client concierge, then we have kind of, and I call it the candy land because it just kind of wobbles around. It's like, then you're into this junior producer position, and you can grow into a producer, and you have to hit certain metrics and criteria. And then that's where you get different commission structures and different pay and all of that. And then there's tiers inside the producer world too, right? Different higher commissions and things like that as you hit different metrics. Or you stay in this junior producer world while you're still growing and learning. And the biggest thing is getting referral sources, getting lenders, getting realtors. And that's where they work really alongside myself, or we have an elite producer in the office that we're really kind of fine tuning that process. So it's basically a senior producer who's working with a junior producer, and they're kind of giving them all of their tips and tricks to say, hey, we're going to take you out to this realtor event. I'm going to do a lunch and learn. Come along with me. Watch what we say and do. And then that really kind of gets them going. So it's really this show of what they can get to and what they can go into. And it's worked out well. I mean, our turnover is almost nothing outside of what we may have terminated somebody for. Nobody has left us, I think, in 6 years. So it's something that, as long as you're very forthcoming with what the vision is, you really, really get the return from the employee to stay long term.
So the client concierge essentially quotes the business for the producers.
Yes.
That was like the main facet of that. So Billy and I actually had a conversation through text last week because I've got a guy that wants to come to work here that I think would fit perfect in that role. And the idea is they're doing the actual quoting, so the producer focuses on prospecting and selling. They're not having to do all the in the middle stuff. And I was asking Billy, like, what's their normal quote volume? And I don't remember what he said, but I said, man, these guys and gals are expert quoters by the time they make it to the producer level. And he's like, oh, they're absolute ninjas. They don't make mistakes. And that's we used to do this thing, and a lot of agencies listening to this probably do this. Somebody comes to you, they have a little bit of sales background, maybe they have some insurance experience, and they want to be a producer, and you wave the magic wand. You say, congratulations, you're a producer. And you're really setting them up for failure. And one of the things we've seen in the past with people that we do put in that immediate sales role that they consistently mess up is not quoting right and or not going to the right place. So you're really embedding that in them from the foundation. And so by the time they get there, they know exactly where they need to go.
Yeah. I would say too, even like the junior producer role, because they're alongside a senior agent picks the carrier, sells it. The junior producer then gets in the system and binds it, and they kind of learn the underwriting of the carrier. So like, I know that I can get away with, this age water heater or whatever. They really understand the guidelines. So then when they do become a producer, they're like, oh, I know I can go with this carrier because XYZ. So so same thing kind of through the junior producer role as well.
So do you guys do the Mike Stromso thing during the 12 weeks of training where every day, work day at 4:00, they send you an email on what I learned today and what I'm having problems with?
So we used to we call it our EOD, end of day email. And it really just told us like how many of each task they did. But now we've kind of transitioned into like an Excel where they can tally it each day. But more so if there's something they don't get right then and there, they're grabbing somebody to do it. And then every Friday, I have that recap of the week. Okay, what are you needing help on? What do you feel like 100% you got it? Let's move on type of situation.
Hey, I'm gonna brag on you guys for just a minute, and I'm gonna have Bradley verify what I'm about to say. Shelby, for all these agents listening to this right now, that's like, this is a bunch of bullshit. I don't care about any of this. These people probably don't even know what they're doing. Would you like to enlighten our listening audience of only 250,000 insurance agents from around the world how much brand spanking new business, on average, does the Brightway office in Jacksonville, Florida, write in premium each month? On average.
Each month? Oh gosh, Chris, you have a better idea. I know like a weekly standpoint, I'd say around 200,000.
I was going to say, I've heard Billy Wagner, and I thought he was bullshitting. In 3 separate meetings I've had with Billy, almost, oh, by the way, say, yeah, we write somewhere around $1 million in new business a month. A month.
Yeah.
And Bradley yesterday is sitting on the casting couch with me right here. And he goes, hey, dude, you know how we always thought Billy was like bullshitting about that $1 million a month?
I didn't say it exactly like that.
Hey, that's real. That's real talk. So for all you agents out there that are watching this on YouTube, if you're not, go subscribe on YouTube, and you can see Scott Howell with his Beastie Boys t-shirt on right now, actually talking. For all you agents out there, if you're not writing $1 million a month in green new business, per Bradley Flowers yesterday about the golf example you gave. What was the golf example? Don't take lessons from somebody if they're not better than you.
Correct.
Right? If you're not writing $1 million, and I would say, how many agents listening to this you think write $1 million in green new business a month?
Consistently?
Yeah.
Probably not many.
1% or less.
Or less.
And they're probably commercial.
That's me included. Yeah.
And that's 100%. We ain't sniffing $1 million a month. You might want to be listening to this podcast, because these folks right here are legit writing $1 million in green new premium a month. A month. Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest because I know there's somebody out there like, listen, I don't need to watch these. This is, I got this. I know what I'm doing, bitch. You ain't even sniffing a year what these people are writing in a month. So that lends me to this. I've also heard Billy in almost a roundabout sort of way go, yeah, we've got 487 referral partners. And I'm like, what? We've got like 3.
That sounds about right too. Yeah.
How on God's green earth do y'all have 487? It might have been more than that. It might have been like 586. I don't remember.
I'm sure they could give you the exact
I'll
number.
tell you right now. Let's see.
Gosh, here we go.
She's about to
On
say 4,000.
paper, 648.
And
Right.
let me, you
I've
guys
got
consider a referral partner somebody that's sending you 5, correct?
True.
So that's not just
5 a week, 5 a month, 5 a year.
So I'll say we just started tracking this year. So
You better put me on there.
yeah.
Chris, how on God's green earth are you staying front of mind in front of 600 and what did you say? 600.
648.
How on God's green earth are you staying front of mind in front of 648 referral partners?
Yeah, we just do as many touches as we can, and we try to get out of the office as much as we can. So, like I said, lunch and learns is a big thing. So if I have a lender partner, the big thing I'm always like, we want to fish in the same pond for realtors, basically, right? So I will partner with a lender and say, let's do a lunch and learn. And now I'm in front of 30 realtors with a lender. So now we both look like heroes, and I bring some tacos and we're doing a little sales pitch and talking about insurance, but really it just comes down to being happy, energetic, whatever they want. We just had a really big realtor event on Friday where, it probably had 250 realtors kind of walk through a room, and, there's booze and we're just a vendor there, but we're a fun vendor, meaning our team dressed up. It was an Alice in Wonderland theme. So everyone dressed up and we're having a good time. We gave away a bunch of pickleballs and all these different things. But we're just there having a great time. And then outside of these events, I actually look at our referral tracker every single week. And anytime I see someone who's kind of been a while I haven't heard from, we touch them. I shoot them an email. We're going to get in a little bit more automation. So I get to see, like, instead of me manually looking for it, when I haven't heard from someone in 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, I want a manual, email to go out, or a manual text to say, hey, what's going, just a normal touch and all of that. But it's really just being in front of them as much as possible. But really our performance also speaks for itself. When someone asks for something like a quote or a binder or something, is getting it back to them as quickly as possible. That's one of the biggest things that we actually sell here is speed. Is in this real estate transaction, everyone wants something yesterday. Yeah. So if we can't get it to them that quickly as possible, I know there's another agent down the street that's saying that they can. So that's why we really push our folks to, make sure that as soon as that email comes across or that phone call comes through, you're getting those documents out, you're getting whatever they're asking for out as quickly as possible. And then our reputation just kind of, spreads like wildfire on that.
Well, and what you have to remember too, just for the listeners, is when you're dealing with referral partners, specifically lenders and realtors, is you are helping them do their job. They don't look at you like you do the Kirby vacuum salesman that's coming to your door. Like, you're not really selling them anything. There's no pain involved in that. They're not having to give you any money. It's a different transaction. Like, you are there to assist them. Look at your lenders and your lenders and your realtors look at you like we look at the ServPro person that comes by the office. Like, we love to see the ServPro person come. You know what I mean? That's how I think people, they build this up in their head like it's this big scary thing that it's like going to be awkward or whatever. And no, it's just like, and hey, like, what's going on? Can we help you? Got any deals right now you're working with? And a lot of times it's just you're not top of mind because that lender and realtor trade, they're not getting residual income like we are. So they're constantly looking for the next deal, and they're not thinking about who are they referring insurance to. So you have to jog their memory in that way.
Absolutely. And one of the big things, I mean, the insurance market in Florida was pretty rough about 3 or 4 years ago. Like it was definitely on a brink of collapse at some point. And where we doubled down a lot, or where I personally doubled down, is I was like, I'm gonna figure everything out. So we just kept saying yes. You've got an old roof? Yes, I'll figure it out. I'll find something. You got an issue with this? Yes, I'll find something. So I really kind of focused on our carrier partners and said, I need you to tell me I can get insurance on this. So where other agents were saying no, or no, we can't do this, or I don't have a carrier or something, I was always saying yes. I was finding answers for everybody. So then that also became kind of our mantra is, well, Chris can get it done. Chris can figure it out. Chris's team knows how to get this done. So then as now the market's softening here, which is great, it's a lot easier. They're just coming to us a lot more because Chris's team knows what to do. Yep, we're just getting it done. So that would be another thing for anyone listening is finding answers. If you have to say no, someone else is going to say yes. So be the person that always says yes, because that positivity will go much, much farther than you think.
Probably the number one question I get, guys. So I gave a presentation a couple months ago to the Big Eye of Louisiana, and the whole thing was I basically went through. What?
You went to Louisiana to give a
did.
Did you get to meet our brother from another mother that sends us emails like we're?
I opened with a joke about the Louisiana Insurance Commission.
Was he there?
So
was he there?
So are you guys licensed in Louisiana?
No.
Okay.
Oh
So-
my God!
so
that
I
is the
forgot about
funniest
that.
thing
I
you've
forgot
ever
about
said.
that.
And you haven't even mentioned it.
No, so the Louisiana
The Department
Insurance
of-
Commissioner is
Crazy
he
ex-girlfriend is what he is.
sends
Chris, you ever had a
more-
crazy ex-girlfriend?
I've had several.
Hey,
several.
this dude is one of them.
He sends it's multiple emails every single day. The Louisiana Insurance, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm licensed in 20 states, so I see all of the emails from all the it's 10-1 Louisiana, maybe even 50-1. So I get there, I walk in, it's a big room, it's probably 300, 400 people.
Damn.
And I walk in, and the lady who booked me, I was like, hey, I have a really strange question. She's like, what's that? I said, is the Louisiana Insurance Commissioner here? And she said,
I want to get my. I have my Louisiana state license hanging on my wall, and I don't even write business in Louisiana.
So she says, no, he wasn't able to make it. And I'm like, okay, good. Because I wasn't going to make the joke if he was in the room. And so about that time, they're like, please welcome Bradley Flowers. And I'm already mic'd up. And I'm like, guys, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm really proud to come to Louisiana today. Anytime I'm feeling lonely or just down, I always look at my email because I know I have an email from the insurance commissioner of Louisiana that says, hey, you up, ? About half the room laughed. It was the young people that laughed because they got it. But anyway, I was giving this presentation, and the presentation was just on our referral partner process. And the number one question I always get is, what do you guys do when you have someone that the rate just doesn't fit in terms of like DTI, or the lender maybe asks you to, can we lower this coverage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I can give you my answer, but I'd love to know, Chris and Shelby, like, what do you guys do in those situations? Because there may be some people you can't help.
Yeah, I mean, and that of course there is the answer. Sometimes you just can't, right? Like sometimes people can't buy a house, right? They can't afford it. But yeah, we play the DTI game all the time and say, all right, well, here's XYZ, changes we can do as long as it meets your loan requirements. And then the day after closing, we make the change back, right? So as long as the buyer knows, or they're comfortable with whatever the situation is as long as the homeowner is aware of what's happening, that's all that really matters, because nothing is worse. And I've gone down this route before where someone had to get a 10% hurricane deductible, something like that, to qualify for the loan. Day after closing, she doesn't call us to change it. We follow up, half a dozen times. Well, Hurricane Ian hits. She has hurricane damage. Well, now she's got a $50,000 deductible, and she's not, the happiest person at this time. And so we have to go down that route. But for the most part, yeah, we work with whatever we can, and then go backwards and get it all done. But in the end, sometimes the person just cannot buy a house, and that's
Mhm.
really
Yeah.
what we have to deal with.
Yeah, you've got some that it's just this. You just don't need to buy this.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Chris, I got a question for you.
Mhm.
A couple years ago, y'all made all these legal the law changes on assignment of benefits, and I'm
Also
hearing
got the diligent forms are gone too.
Thank
yeah,
goodness.
and I'm hearing that it's not a race to the bottom, but the premium levels down there, knock on wood, no hurricanes this year. They're falling. Everything's
Mhm.
falling. But then the lawmakers in Florida, because they're attorneys, are trying desperately to get this shit put back in because they're
Mhm.
losing money, right? I mean, if I'm an attorney in the state of Florida and I'm in the House of Representatives down there, I'm losing money because the law firm that I work for was making so much money off of assignment of benefits. So they're trying to slide this shit back in any way they can so that they can start making all that money again. Are y'all going to let that happen, or is the people do people down there understand what Scott's saying right now, or do you think it's going to hold, or do you think they're going to eventually wire work it around so they can start making the big check again?
Yeah, I think it's gonna hold, honestly, because the changes are showing at this point.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the
And
rates are
premiums.
stabilizing, they're coming down. So there's no argument to the fact that the new laws, the changes have actually worked in the fact of the rate change. Now, the argument is, well, because you can't sue the insurance company, that's why the rates are going down and so forth. But nothing's made a major change or a big movement to where the attorneys are really pushing for this AOB change again.
Sure.
I always say they're going to find another thing. 30 years ago, it was mold. Mold is gold. So they made a change.
Right.
20 years ago, it was sinkholes. Then now it's roofs.
Right.
And so they're going to find another hole somewhere. So it'll happen, but I don't think this AOB thing is going to come back, at least not as strong as it was.
Yeah.
And the governor, DeSantis, now is really touting that he won this. Now, he's not going to be governor anymore because he's termed out. So depending on who the next governor is, if they keep, kind of the momentum going, I think they're going to keep pushing on it. But I don't think there's going to be a big pushback from the attorneys. I think
deal.
that the good has shown so much, and the insurance companies have done what they're supposed to and
Sure.
taken the rates down. If they hadn't taken the rates down, then definitely there's going to be an argument for it to change. But since they are actually going down, I think it's going to be good.
Hey, I'm going to have you guys back on the podcast because I've got 7,000 more questions that I want to ask you guys. And last question, and then I'm going to let you go because Bradley and I got another podcast we got to jump on. You guys are personal lines. That's what Brightway is known for. That's your rock. That's your foundation. What do you do when you've got all this personal lines business? Obviously, somebody, probably more than I even know, calls and says, "Hey, I need I need business insurance." Do y'all just refer that out to somebody local, or how do you handle that?
Yeah, so we do have a commercial agent here in our office, but it's
Okay.
really light commercial. So meaning,
Right.
your simple GLs and stuff like that. So if we do have a large commercial, we do refer it out. I've got a couple other agents that are local here that we're very close with and friendly with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll refer it out to them. Brightway's just not. They were built on personal lines. So yeah, that's kind of our big thing.
Well, pleasure to meet both of you. Shelby, nice to meet you. I
Yeah,
look
you
forward
as
to
well.
seeing you in person one of these days when I come down there. I'm planning on coming down, and my wife and I staying with Billy and his wife for no less than 3 months at their house. Billy's supposed to be building a wing on the back of his house. It's going to be called the Scott and Kim wing, and
Got the sauna ready for you.
but we probably won't be there for more than 3 months. So y'all can let him know I'll be down there pretty soon. Guys, as I end every episode, rewards come from action, not discussion. Get your ass out from behind that desk today. Don't be Scott Howell. The largest personal lines agencies in the world have multiple referral partners. Don't be Scott Howell, who has 3 referral partners. Okay. If you do that, if you're Scott Howell and you've got 3 referral partners and all 3 of them are real estate agents that sell 2 houses a year, you're going to be Scott Howell. You're going to be driving a 2017 Chrysler Pacifica with Geo out in the parking lot, changing the spark plugs out so you can get back to Huntsville. If you want to be rich and have a helicopter and own your own island and your kids get to go to private school and you live in the big McMansion and have all the nice things and the Picasso paintings on the wall and be like Bradley and have Airbnbs at the beach and drive Teslas and do all the good stuff, you might want to go out and build about, how many did you say, Shelby?
648.
648 referral partners. 648 referral partners. And Billy, who is, for all practical purposes, retired, or Scott Howell, who lives in a $50,000 mobile home and drives a Geo Chrysler Pacifica. Your choice. Your choice. You get to choose which one of those 2 you want to be. That's all I'm going to say. Go make money for your family, for your wife, for your husband, for your kids' college fund, for your parents and your in-laws out there that are struggling. Go make money for them. If you want to, go figure out what your why is and go make a bunch of money. Write good business for the agencies that you represent and write good business for the carriers that you represent. Bradley Flowers, I love
Thanks,
you.
man. Thanks, guys.
Shelby, Chris,
Bye.
we love both of
Thank
y'all.
you.
Have a great day. Guys,
Thank
you are
you.
listening to the Insurance Guys podcast, and we love each one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of our family, and we'll see you back here real soon. Take care.